Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. Mm-hmm. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back. I love.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, as always, you can find them online, GEAUXchevrolet.com. Coming up today, we're going to talk to Jacques Doucet. Jacques going to be here during the 8 o'clock hour. Stop in and hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. If you are joining us for the first time and you are not subscribed, make sure and click on that subscription button. If you want to know when the content goes live, you can always just click on that bell and you will know when we are live here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate you starting your Wednesday here with us. As we said, Jacques will be here in the second hour, and last night it was LSU baseball again, steamrolling. We'll talk about the Tigers going into SEC play, dominating in all assets of the game, everywhere, fielding, hitting, pitching. When it comes to the stats, the numbers, LSU is as good as it gets in college baseball right now. So another shutout of UNO last night. Remember, Metropolitan Health Group brings you our phone lines, real doctors, real solutions. As we said, Jacques will be in here at 8:15. Katie is here.
No carpool today. Did y'all notice?
No carpool.
My sweet brother's still in town, so he's handling Sophie for me. Shout out Matt and my little niece Arden. They're over there watching at home right now.
Nice. Do they? Do they stay with you when they come in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have room now because of R&B Builders.
I mean, look at that house. Better not get a
We have
hotel.
plenty of room. They've got their own bathroom now and everything. So yeah, they're up there in the bunk beds.
You know me. I'm just a little weird about that.
Staying over.
Both.
What do you mean both?
As the host and as the.
Oh no! I mean, I don't see them that often. I want them.
I guess
I want
brother and
them with
sister
us.
is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
it
I
is.
wouldn't mind my sisters.
Yeah. Who do you not want to stay at your house?
What
and
would be the
host?
cutoff, you mean?
Yeah, like family member wise.
Golly. Everybody outside
Everyone.
of my immediate family.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it gets awkward outside of your immediate family.
yeah, I mean, those are so weird situations.
Yeah. I don't really like staying at other people's houses
Me
that
either.
much. I'd rather a hotel or
Always.
something like so I can
Yeah.
peace out and do my
Always.
own
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Move around when you want.
Yeah.
Always.
Try to like find your coffee. It's so weird. Wear your mugs. Like
Yeah. I'm good.
Well, and you know, I get up early.
yeah, we know.
And you never know how people react to people moving around like extremely early in the
You're
morning.
like my brother. He was
Then if
taking the
people, like,
trash
what
out
if
at
they
like
have
before
dogs?
6. Yes.
You know, and the dogs wake up.
Oh God.
I mean, I remember one time I was at somebody's like camp. We were at like a False River camp, and I was trying to go outside at like, you know, it was like probably like 6 in the morning, and everybody was up. And I mean, like, I opened the door and the alarm just
Oh God.
wow, wow. It's like,
That's it right there. You're
Everybody.
not invited back after that.
absolutely, and I shouldn't be. But you know what I mean? Like, that's another reason why I'm intruding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
This is your space. I'm just trying to go outside and do my weird things that I like to do in the
I
morning.
get it.
Man,
I
you
get
know?
it.
It's like having a car.
My
Yeah?
brother just texted me. We love the shout out. Yesterday, he was like, "We can see your phone light up when we text you." Yeah,
These cameras do work.
they do. You can see it all.
So LSU baseball last night rolls again. I mean, look, Doug's going to be – I got a text into Doug, and hopefully Doug will stop by here in the next couple of minutes, and we'll talk to Doug in the first hour. I don't know how much more you can say about LSU here as they blank another opponent. They do it to UNO this time, 16-0. Tommy White had a 3-run bomb last night. Tigers have won 11 straight. This is the 6th shutout of the season. Garrett Edwards got the win for LSU. Chase Shores, who's been a weekend guy, came in some middle relief and was able to close the game out as LSU just rolled. Paxton Kling, another huge night for Kling Kong. Damn, almost had it.
Kling Klong, you did almost have
Almost
it.
had it.
He's making a name for himself.
He's a stud.
He
man.
really is.
He's a stud. I've
He
been
really
telling
is.
y'all about him, Stephen Miller. I see you, Stephen Miller, talking all
Yeah.
that trash about me and Paxton Kling. I was telling you about Kling in the fall. Don't act like I wasn't. I'm kidding. And then Josh Pearson last night. It was good to see him back in the lineup. And we'll talk to Doug about Pearson and some of the other guys coming up here as LSU, again, records their 6th straight win. Their 6th straight shutout over UNO, their 11th straight win as they head into conference play. They'll take on Texas A&M this weekend. They'll take off to College Station. And I think a lot of people are very interested, very intrigued on how LSU is going to handle this road trip just because of how good they've been, like Doug said last week, and I firmly agree. I mean, there's only so many times you can say this team is dominant, this team is, all they're cracked up to be. They're worth the hype. They're, the best fielding team in the league. They're the best hitting team in the league. They're the best pitching team in the league. I mean, they're all that we have heard they were going to be. They're better than that in the non-conference. Now the competition is going to click up here for the Tigers, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested to see how they respond.
They just need some competition. I'm ready to see them play some freaking competition, right?
Well, here it
I mean,
comes.
it's like boring to me at this point. I mean, I don't expect anything but home runs and wins from LSU over and over.
I mean, it's like they haven't played like a 9-inning game.
I mean, have they one time?
No, they agreed last
well,
night
no,
to play
they
9.
did in the beginning.
Right. But I mean, like they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
know?
they
I mean, like,
agreed
shouldn't
what?
have been.
They agreed last night to play 9.
They did?
Yeah.
I mean, it was 0-0 still in the bottom of the 5th, right?
Yeah. But, with that lineup,
Jeez.
give me
I know.
0-0 and it
Yeah,
can
right.
be 6-0
I know.
quick.
Like, is everybody
Blank.
just scared to death of them when
Yes.
it's like time to play? I mean,
Absolutely.
did they give up? I mean, did they even try? Is it like we're gonna get beat mentality?
I mean,
How are we getting in this Tennessee series?
I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, we got to get in.
some way, somehow.
The last weekend of the season. You don't have baseball tickets, do you?
I don't. Actually, David's work does. I think they have 4 that we have to like put in. I just found that out last night when my brother asked us about it. And I was like, oh, the whole time you got 4 tickets?
There's the plug.
They have to transfer them around, but at least there's
Sure
a little
they do.
something.
Well, look over here.
Look over here, David.
We got to get in this series. We got to get in this game. We got to get in this Friday night series. I mean, this is going to be an atmosphere.
When's that?
This is coming up the last weekend of March, so we got a little time.
Okay.
Not a lot of time.
All
but
right.
Not a lot of time, but enough time.
Yeah, enough
to
time
go
to,
get us
All
a
right.
ticket.
All
to
right.
at least get into a game. Friday night, I think this is going to be an atmosphere. And look, the weekend, I think, is going to be electric, just of the brands, the build-up, the personalities now in this matchup.
What's Tennessee ranked?
I don't know.
Okay.
But the Friday night Tennessee game is going to be.
It's actually on a Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series.
Okay.
Hey, look,
We got to get in that. Still, we got to get in that Thursday game.
Yeah, Thursday. that's
Friday's
even-
at
Thursday
6
game's
p.m.
better.
too.
That's all right. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
Thursday
mean,
at
you're looking
7.
at back-to-back atmospheres that are going to be electric. But Skeens and old boy Dollar,
Is it-
their ace,
Yeah.
going head to head. I mean, you're talking about potentially maybe the number one and number 2 picks in the draft. If they're not, Dylan Cruz is up there in the discussion as well. But either way, you've got maybe 3 of the top 5 draft picks on the field together in one game when you're talking about that first opening game when Skeens is going against their ace on Thursday night.
Wait, Tennessee's ranked number 2.
Right now?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
well,
14-3.
Well, I mean, I know that they lost some. They had lost some games early on, but yeah, I mean, like that was the deal going into the season.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like people knew that this was going to be 2 of the top teams in the country.
Yeah.
But
That's going to be a good one.
I can't. I would say that the LSU Oklahoma game when Nola was starting against. Was it Jonathan Gray, I believe was the pitcher's name for Oklahoma, who was like a top 10 pick as well. That was probably the best atmosphere that like the new box has ever created, or at least one of the best that I've seen. To me, this Thursday and maybe even the Friday game on Friday evening could be as well. But I think that Thursday game versus Tennessee, I mean, the way that people are talking about it, the tickets, the people are just, it's going to be standing room only, no more seats, no more bodies, no more people could be able to fit in that place to watch that opening game. I can't wait for it. We got to get in.
Yeah, we got to get in.
We got to get in.
We'll get in. Come on.
We got to get in.
Right?
We got to get in. Remember Daily, we're brought to you by City Cafe, citycafebr.net. Check out our friends over at City Cafe. They got crawfish, they got seafood, they got oysters over there. If you want to go check them out, they're online at citycafebr.net. They're also in the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill. Remember to get in touch with City Cafe if you're looking to host a lunch, if you have a large luncheon, if you have numbers and you need a room, you need a private space. City Cafe can help you out. citycafebr.net. They got daily lunch specials. They got weekend brunch on Sundays that starts at 10 a.m. every Sunday over there at City Cafe with great brunch specials. Check them out. citycafebr.net. citycafebr.net.
Can I go ahead and
Dollander.
address,
Dollander is the ace for Tennessee. Thank you, Andrew Messina.
I'm going to go ahead and address a couple of comments. Yes, I watched the Mississippi State game last night with the family. I don't know if y'all watched it. It was just
brutal.
It
Who did
was
they play?
just brutal.
Was
They
it-
played Pittsburgh. They
It
lost.
was a play-in
They had
game, bro.
2 very open
Had a
shots
tip-in.
in the last few seconds.
Tip-in.
They missed the 3. Were the worst 3-point shooters in the country. You know,
Beautiful look, though.
a great look, and then missed the tee. So that was Shaquille Moore. Missed it, and then they missed the tip in, and we lost by 1 point, 60-59. I mean, just it's hard to watch. I've watched it like probably 10 times on Twitter this morning.
Brutal.
Just the final play, just absolutely heartbreaking. But we made it to the tournament, and that was cool with the first-year coach. So, but it's over for us
Yeah,
now.
at least
It's
you made it
over.
to the tournament.
It didn't bust my bracket though, so
You won enough games to make it to the tournament.
Yeah.
You had him getting beat in the play.
no, but
But you had him getting beat in the first round.
yeah.
Well,
So we're still okay.
March is here, though.
March is here, y'all.
You had a chance. I couldn't
did have-
believe he missed
did
the
have a
tip in.
chance.
Couldn't believe
That was
he missed the
tough, and to watch them like just fall to the court, it just in disbelief afterwards was tough.
That is why, I mean, like, I heard John Treelor, and I know we've talked about John Treelor a lot, or we talked about him last week a lot with the Ben Simmons time during LSU, but he was also on the staff during John Brady's last 3 seasons here. I mean, and, 04, 05, 06. They won the league twice. They had a 2-time player of the year, Brandon Bass, Glenn Davis. Tyrus Thomas was the freshman of the year. I mean, they were pumping out players during that time, and John Treelor had a ton to do with that. And I'll never forget, we were watching film with they had the bigs on this team in 2015 were outstanding. If you can recall, this was like Brandon Bass, Ross Neltner was on that team. Glenn Davis was a freshman. This is the 2005 team. Tyrus Thomas was a true freshman who they were thinking they were going to play him that season, but he had a neck injury that he got during training camp that he never really got over. They thought they were going to play him. If you go back, they played him early in that season, but then they decided they were about to get to the mark where they burned the red shirt on him. And, at that time, Tyrus Thomas was still like a basketball project. He had just started playing basketball his junior year at McKinley. He had quit playing basketball his junior year at McKinley. So, like, he hadn't played in a while, and he was very, very raw, right? Like, nobody ever anticipated a year later that he would be a lottery pick. So, I mean, there were still, like, thoughts of, like, maybe they should redshirt him. So, it ended up being, like, kind of a medical deal because he had a problem with his neck, so he didn't play. But he was in that room as a big. And they also had Magnum Roll went on that team. Magnum was on the next team. So, they were watching film one day, and Brandon Bass, and they were watching practice film, and Brandon Bass missed a putback, a lot like your boy did last night. This guy, this is what made me think of it.
Yeah.
And John Treelor paused the deal, stood up in the room, and said, "Brandon Bass, when's the last time you couldn't dunk a basketball?" And Brandon's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "When's the last time you played a basketball game and you couldn't, like, physically dunk the ball?"
Yeah.
And Brandon was like, like 7th grade?
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, well then since that point, if you ever have an opportunity to dunk a ball in a basketball game, do it every single time. You know why?" And he hits the film. And he replays it like 5 times. Click, click. Because he, like, catches it and tries to, like, tries to, like, finesse it up there, and it hits the back, kind of like what happened last night.
Right.
He hit the back, he hit the top of the glass, and he hit the front of the iron, and it bounced off.
Yep.
Right? Where it's like, I
know.
I mean, this dude's 6'9". When he jumps, his eyeballs are on the rim. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, just poke that thing.
Just
dunk
the
it.
damn ball.
Dunk it every time. I can't, I yell at Jordan more about missed layups than I yell about anything in basketball because when they miss, he doesn't use the backboard. If they could dunk and they missed,
right,
it would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I
can't imagine.
Why would you not dunk it if you can dunk it? Like, people that don't dunk the basketball during a game that have opportunities to dunk it and, like, miss layups is mind-blowing to me.
It is.
And, like, I'm talking about, like, not open floor stuff. Like, if you want to do, like, the finger roll and lay it in, I get it. But, like, put back stuff,
dunk it.
Like, flush that thing. Leave no doubt. Because that's –
Yeah.
You think that guy slept last night?
No.
You think he can dunk a basketball?
Yes.
He can absolutely dunk a basketball.
They're
He's
having
looking at that
nightmares
thing
for
thinking, like,
days.
all of his boys are thinking, "Bro, why don't you just poke it?
Why did you just dunk?
Why don't you just dunk that thing,
Yeah.
man?"
Somebody probably asked him too. Like,
No doubt.
"Why you
Oh,
just dunk?"
absolutely.
No doubt.
He's like,
There's a high school teammate. There's a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a brother. Uncle.
He's
You
not
know what I
good
mean?
for
No
days.
doubt.
Can you imagine?
Absolutely.
You're replaying that in your head over and over at
Yeah,
night.
but I mean, like, were they supposed to, like, be world beaters or something?
No, but I mean, they've made it this far and they weren't supposed to. I mean, they were 1-7 in SEC play when they started. So it's like, I mean, it's a first-year coach. I mean, it's wild.
No,
Women's too.
I mean,
doing the same thing. At
Really and
Mississippi State.
truly, I mean, like, outside of the moment, outside of the vacuum, it's a great season for Mississippi
It
State.
was.
Like,
They're
there's a
great
lot to be excited
defensively.
about. I
Yeah.
mean, a first-year coach, to get the type of turnaround and the type of buy-in that he got from that team, I thought was.
He's a great guy.
I mean, that was pretty scary to see. Have y'all filled out y'all's bracket yet?
Yes.
Who's your Final Four?
Hold on. I have Houston winning it. Houston and
Okay.
Alabama, and then I can't remember who are my 4. I'll
I
put it
have
back
not
in the
filled
book.
out a bracket yet.
You've
You
not.
haven't?
No.
Stewie, you got to do it
Wait,
today.
okay, well, like, I didn't even know we were doing a bracket challenge until,
I just
We're
did the
not, Stu. We're
ESPN
just a little
one.
internal.
Yeah.
until like this morning, maybe.
No, I'm not busting balls because I hadn't finished mine yet.
Oh.
But I do know, I do have an idea of, like, who my 4 is going to be.
Who?
I like Alabama coming out of the South. I like you, Katie, going with chalk. I like Houston
Okay. I got mine pulled up now.
coming out of the Midwest.
All right.
This is not going to be a popular pick, but this is the one that's holding me up in the East.
Tell me.
I'm stuck on what I'm going to do with Duke.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, I
I'd
got
go with
them
Duke.
out
They're hot
earlier
right
on.
now, Coach.
I like Duke. I mean, if I'm buying stock and I see Duke in front of me, I want it. I've been trying to get that. I wish I would have bought it 2 weeks ago because they have been one of the hottest teams in the country, and they look like a really hard, tough matchup.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a really good second round game between them and Tennessee.
Wait, I have Tennessee in my Final Four.
Really?
Alabama, Tennessee, and Houston, Kansas.
Okay. Purdue's the only one seed that doesn't scare me a lot, even though they probably have the best player.
See, a lot of people don't think that
I do.
about the Purdue guy. Is it the big guy?
Yeah,
He's a traditional big man.
he is, but he's he's. If you want to debate on whether or not skillfully he's the best player in the game, I hear you. But as far as the matchup goes, he's a huge problem.
Matchup nightmare.
He's a huge problem, and we're only talking about one game scenarios here.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's survive and advance now.
Yeah.
I mean, like it all comes down to matchups, and that's the only thing that leaves me a little weary about Purdue, is that while they don't scare me as much as the one seed, right? I mean, like Kansas, Purdue, Houston, Bama, out of those four, Purdue's the one that really doesn't scare me the most, even though Kansas is shaky going into the tournament and Self is dealing with some medical stuff.
Oh, God.
I have them getting beat by Memphis, Purdue.
I was
And I
gonna
have
say-
Oral Roberts beating Duke,
Oh, Katie.
like right off.
That is the
KU.
12-5.
I just felt it.
Massive
I'm telling you, I
upset.
just felt it, and that's why I picked it.
If you call that one, I'm going to start betting everything that you say.
Why
mean,
don't you bet most
You
things
could go.
I say
You
at this
could have went
point?
UL for that.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you've called has been chalk.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, would have made a lot of money on your calls. But
Come
I mean,
on.
the Duke Oral Roberts, you can make some money on.
Hell yeah, you can.
Wait, so Katie, who do you think is gonna be the number one pick in the draft? So I could go ahead.
I
and
don't
make
know.
that
Hold on, I
bet?
don't know. You know, these are gut things for me.
Nah, I mean,
so
look, we talked
get-
about it yesterday. You should-
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, betting with your heart.
Yeah.
Leave you broke.
No, I'm betting with my gut.
Same thing.
Nah, it's not. It's not emotional because a lot of the things I pick, I'm not emotional about. Like I'm not emotional about Brandon Miller. I think he's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm not emotional. I'm not emotional about Houston. I just think they're gonna win it all.
You sure you're not emotional?
Houston's best player is hurt.
I do sound emotional.
You do sound emotional.
I'm not. I don't have any ties to them.
I wonder how that's gonna work though. Their
What?
best player is out. Like he's hurt.
Kansas?
Houston.
Houston, I know.
Groin
Yeah.
injury.
be
Groin's
all right.
tough.
He'll be all right.
Basketball.
He'll be fine.
They're deep. They're a matchup problem too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even without, I mean, he's a huge hit. I mean, you're taking 25 off the floor every night. But you know, they're still tough. Alabama to me is the toughest matchup as far as man on man. They're so long. They're so athletic. They're
Long
deep.
and strong.
They keep coming at you. You know what I mean?
They really do, Jordy. Got to get the friction on.
That's right.
They just keep coming.
UCLA is another team to watch out for. They're without their top scorer as well.
Yeah.
TCU's
somewhere.
is some money. Gonzaga feels very high at a 3 seed,
I think so too.
even though they did win.
They win their conference.
Yeah, they did win their conference, and it looks like
It doesn't feel right.
Like
Like
Efton
Gonzaga.
Reed's starting to play, really good, better.
I mean, he started
Yeah.
to start the season, so
Gonzaga's been in 24 straight tournaments.
Yeah, no. Mark Few is, man, that's a poster.
Yeah.
I mean, they
They're
are
legendary.
I mean, they've kind of gone from Cinderella to a blue blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They really
I mean,
have.
really in the last decade, I mean, they used to be America's sweetheart. Now people are, fear them and love to hate them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a lot of people asking and curious about this Will Wade contract that came out, was announced yesterday. Wade's going to be suspended for the first 5 games of the upcoming season. He'll have some recruiting restrictions placed against him. This is a self-imposed suspension. The restrictions appear to be a move that McNeese is trying to get out in front of if there is any NCAA penalties or sanctions that will come up for Wade during his time at LSU.
Is that normal? Like, is this
sure.
what you thought was
Oh,
going to
absolutely.
happen?
Well, I mean, look, the NCAA doesn't like that McNeese hired Will Wade.
No.
There is a feeling probably in the Indianapolis office to McNeese of probably a lot of annoyance, but they understand that McNeese basketball is not moving the needle of NCAA college basketball athletics. So
that's a nice way to put it.
If there's a program that, can take a chance and try and get some good, public relations from it, sell some tickets, get out and create a buzz, that they're not gonna crack down and throw down and say you can't hire him, but they may have something that they levy against Wade, which would then, obviously, would impact whatever school that he was at. So I think McNeese understands that there is a little bit of a risk by hiring Wade at this point, especially in the sense of nothing's been ruled on. I mean, there were schools that were lined up to talk to Will Wade. It was just about whether or not they were going to rule on the penalties.
But the benefits outweigh the risk to them, don't you think?
Especially to McNeese.
Yeah.
I mean, not to Ole Miss.
No, but
but to
McNeese. I'm just talking about
sure.
McNeese.
Absolutely.
Ole Miss,
absolutely
this is a stepping stone for Chris Beard. Ole Miss, he's using them.
Possibly.
I think so.
Possibly. A lot of people said that about Bruce Pearl and Auburn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
But where are you going to go from? I mean, Ole
Chris
Miss is in a
Beard.
basketball
Chris
school.
Beard to a lot of people is now damaged goods.
Absolutely.
Chris Beard to Ole Miss basketball is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's just how it is. And it's pretty disgusting how the news cycle works. It's pretty crazy how hiring processes work on campuses and institutions that are leading young people, how they can apologize for this.
I know.
But there's no pushback from it. There's no
not.
backlash.
Ole Miss loves
If
damaged
you
goods.
tried to hire Chris Beard, in certain sections of this country and certain sections and campuses around even the SEC, that would not be, it wouldn't be tolerated. But for
you would think
for Ole
it
Miss,
wouldn't be tolerated, especially in Mississippi.
right? Why? What makes you say that?
Just his reputation.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Well, they're just very conservative.
they are. But
But they think winning basketball is more important than their values, clearly. And they're not even a basketball school.
That's the thing.
I know.
That's the part about it.
I
is
know.
that, I mean, again, never would I ever apologize or excuse anything that Chris Beard has been alleged to do. And the police report is out. Like, a lot of people are circulating the police report around Chris Beard and the situation of what happened in Austin. So people get a, kind of a that night, a heat of the moment type of style. I mean, it was messed up what went down.
It was.
I mean, he did some pretty evil stuff. That probably wasn't the first time, you know what I mean, if that's just happening at 3:30 in the morning. But, it's all alleged, and there's no charges, and from a legal standpoint, it's been taken care of. But in the sense of, like Ole Miss basketball, it's just a huge, to me, that's a plank that I never thought they would step out on. For
Same.
football, I think that there's 13 schools in the SEC that would walk down the plank of hiring someone that is maybe not as marketable or public relatable. Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like Auburn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Auburn doesn't hire him, somebody's going to hire him, and they'll be in the league. But, it's in basketball. I mean, Kentucky, maybe Arkansas,
Right.
maybe. Who am I missing from a basketball standpoint? Nobody, right? I mean,
No, I mean, Missouri's been pretty freaking good this year.
Missouri, maybe. Kentucky and Arkansas.
Alabama. Did you say Alabama?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I don't think that Bama knew what they were getting in Nate Oates. I think that
Right.
Nate Oates at the time was kind of this, he was at Buffalo. He was winning. He kind of had a different style about him. He was a little different in his tactics.
Yeah,
but he
it's
wasn't
wild.
from the South.
Right.
He was kind of a Midwest guy. I think he's from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I mean,
somewhere up there.
I don't think that people thought he was going to be this
No, nobody did.
You know, when they brought him in, I mean, you know, Nate Oates, besides his inability to recognize the moment like he was this year, he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he's
is.
a great recruiter.
He is.
I mean, there's a reason why Wade and Oates hate each other. You know, I mean, they're the same person. You know, I mean, really, I mean, that's why they can't stand each other, is because, you know, I mean, they would turn up the same places.
Yeah.
I cheat way harder than you.
Huh?
He's like, I cheat way harder than you.
Yeah, right.
You'll never beat me at this cheating thing, bro.
I listened to Chris Beard's press conference yesterday. It was on Feinbaum at Ole Miss, and I mean, they're pretty freaking excited about it.
Yeah.
He said he talked to Kermit like during this whole process, and he talked about what a great coach Kermit was, and it was kind of like crickets in the room when he said that. Like, they were kind of like, yeah, you did great for us.
We hate the guy.
Look, Kermit Davis. I mean, nobody should disrespect Kermit Davis.
No.
I mean, that guy is first off, he's a hell of a dude. And next off, I mean, he's got great experience in coaching. He's got a hell of a resume, and his time at Ole Miss just didn't work. It's tough to win at basketball at Ole Miss, man.
Yeah.
It is hard to win at basketball at Ole Miss.
Right.
I mean, you know, if you're not doing something above board, if you're not doing something that's pretty creative, and this was before NIL. Now that NIL's here, I mean, you know, and everything's now legal and everything's above board and people can just pay people out in front of you. I mean, there's only so many boosters in Oxford that are being gobbled up by Lane Kiffin. You know, I mean,
Right.
anybody who has any money that really cares about athletics is getting bombarded by
Mm-hmm.
football. I mean, Sean Toohey would probably be one of the biggest basketball boosters Ole Miss has. And I'd imagine Kiffin's probably been, you know, he's been on his speed dial since the day he got the job. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just be a hard place to get players to get to. I mean, really, you know, I mean, Chris Beard's he is, without the off the court stuff, he is a incredible basketball coach.
Oh, yeah, you can't argue that.
Fantastic basketball coach. So, you know, I mean, I know why they're excited. I mean, they got a good dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of good dudes, Doug, and I meant good dude from a basketball coaching standpoint.
I know what you meant.
Not
We know
good
what you
dude as
meant.
far as like,
We
you know,
know what
I ain't
you
trying to
meant.
hang out with Chris Beard. You know, talking
Was
about.
he the one? Was he the monkey stripper one?
No, he was
That
not.
was- that was
That
the-
the
Who
special
was that?
teams coach at Texas.
That's right. Okay.
Tough.
Okay.
It feels like the
The
same
monkey
thing.
stripper.
They
It
might have
does
lived
feel
in the
like
same
the
neighborhood
thing. Yeah.
because he's still on staff, right? I mean, like
The
he
special
made,
teams
stripper
coach,
guy?
yeah, he made it.
like he made it through. Like,
Yeah,
like
he
he
made
must
it.
be a hell of a coach. I mean, you know how much stuff you got to put up with if like we're getting arrested in public for like wrestling with the wife and we got a pet monkey that's running around involved in
look.
the whole situation. Like you got to be you better have Arch Manning committed, buddy. You know what I mean?
Might
Like
have had Arch in the boat.
he might have had Arch. I mean, he must have, because either that or his special teams unit was like
top 5 in the
epic.
country.
I mean, like, haven't seen this type of special teams play in a decade. Like, what do you want me to do? Fire the guy? I mean, just let him keep the monkey, for
Keep
God's
the
sakes,
monkey.
bro.
Fine. It's just a
I mean,
monkey.
Tell
what do
him
you
to
want me
get rid
tell
of
you?
the stripper
He's in
girlfriend.
the strippers.
Keep
What do you
the
want me to tell
monkey.
you? He's in the strippers.
And monkey.
I mean, can't we just get him a place on a ranch somewhere and just hide him out here?
Put him out there with Bevo.
I mean,
gosh.
but
Texas.
it's tough to. I mean, Kermit Davis, if he wants to work, he'll be able to work. You know,
Yeah, he
did
will.
I see Western Kentucky was interested? I believe in Kermit. That'd be a great gig for
Maybe
Kermit.
Mississippi State will take him back as an assistant.
God.
I don't know. He's not an assistant.
I'm
he's
kidding.
a head
That
coach. I
was a
mean,
joke.
like Middle Tennessee. I mean,
Yeah.
look what he did to Middle Tennessee
he's a
State,
good
man. He's the
coach.
best coach Middle Tennessee State basketball has ever had,
Mm-hmm.
and I got no idea the history of Middle Tennessee State. So maybe
What if I started like spouting off?
yeah,
all that?
right. Maybe Adolph Rupp was there before he got to Kentucky. I don't know, but I mean, it's tough to bang on Kermit. That's a tough place to win, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about some of the black holes, some of just the caves of the SEC. Ole Miss basketball would be one of those. It'd be like Missouri baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like like things that you're just like, there's no way they'll ever be good. Vanderbilt football.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I
was
mean?
about to
Like,
say, Vandy football.
like they'll never ever be good at that. You
No.
know, I mean, like we could play this thing for 300 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not gonna be relevant in that. So, Chris Beard's got his work. We're about to find out how good of a coach Beard is.
Yeah, we are.
Right. I mean, like that was one thing that I think, that Will Wade did for his career when he got to LSU. LSU had a lot of expectation, like Ole Miss did.
Mm-hmm.
People looked at the LSU basketball job, and while there's a little bit more success than some of the programs that we've talked about, it's just been a roller coaster ride. Nobody expects any consistent type of winner. And Wade had him a top 4 program and putting out players every year, and that really did a lot for his stock.
Yeah.
He was able to elevate his, the buying power on him more than anything, right? And now, I mean, the expectations are kind of back to where they were around LSU basketball.
Yeah.
Like, if they win, they win.
Right. I know. It's sad. Chris Beard can recruit, though. I think that's what they're most excited about. But will his recruiting be the same now? Like, how will these mamas feel about all the chatter in the background?
It's one thing to recruit to Austin, Texas.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was at Texas Tech, he was in Lubbock for what, like 7 years?
Yeah, but Lubbock's a better town than Oxford.
I agree.
Yes.
I mean,
Like,
one thing that, kind of Beard's one of these guys where, and I've always said that, the highest compliment I believe that you can pay a coach is that you have a system that's adaptable to any player, right? Like, you don't have to have, like if you take a job and you're like, this guy's not going to work, like he doesn't fit the system. Like, I mean, are you a coach or are you not a coach? You know what I mean? If you're a coach the guy up and make him a player. Beard does have a very specific type of player that he looks for and recruits. Not that everybody does it, but he's much more pointed on the player that he's looking for.
Yeah.
So maybe that's easier in a town like Oxford.
Maybe so. I mean,
in a town like Lubbock.
Yeah.
Where you're not looking for spotlight guy. You're not looking for bright light guy. I mean, you think about how much success Chris Beard's had in basketball. What's he had, like one lottery? I think he's had like one lottery pick. I mean, it's usually not filled with guys that are, superstar type players.
Right.
So,
well, he said in his press conference he's been recruiting out of Mississippi for years.
I'm sure. I'm sure it probably fits exactly who he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not only that, look around the league. I mean, and we talked a little bit about this last week. Look around the league as far as the basketball landscape goes of the Southeastern Conference. You now add Chris Beard into the coaches division of this conference, and the coaches room of the SEC basketball coaches. And I mean, where else is the power in college basketball? I mean, the SEC now has the best coaches, the best facilities, the best players. I mean, it's starting to sound a lot like football, right?
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, they already corner the market on football and baseball. They're beginning to corner the market on basketball. They seem to own the market in women's basketball with South Carolina, LSU coming on, and Tennessee. I mean, it's for what Greg Sankey has set out to do when he took over 6 years ago. It is really starting to take shape, as you can see, the dominance that the conference is really flexing over the rest of college athletics is, I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious every single day. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Rhett Bourgeois, RMB Builders. We're going to talk to Doug Thompson coming up here in minutes. RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois, rmb-builders.com. They're on Instagram. You can find out where all the projects are. If you're looking for an addition, if you're looking for a new construction, if you're looking for a rebuild, let RMB help you out today. Rhett Bourgeois, get in touch with him. Fastest way to do it is on Instagram. Just DM them. Go straight to them. They'll get right back in touch with you. Come out, check out what you got, what the project entails, and they'll put you on the list, man. The list is growing. You might want to get in touch with them. I know that there's a waiting list now that goes deep into 2023. So if you want to get in touch with Rhett now would be the time before that list continues to grow. RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois, Instagram. Hit him there on social media. All right, Doug Thompson next here on the Jordy Culotta Show as the phone line. We'll be talking on the phone line, brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Kyron Lacy, Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team, make a difference. Bet, let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We were talking a little bit about this LSU baseball team. They roll last night again to another shutout win. 6 shutout of UNO. Last night, Tigers roll 16-0 as LSU piles up 12 hits, knocks in 13. They were on fire last night, as usual. As they're 16-1 on the season, Doug Thompson last week told us that things get going for real this weekend as LSU takes off to Bryan College Station to take on Texas A&M. We link up with one of our favorites now here, good friend of the show, Doug Thompson, a part of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Dougie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Doing good this morning. Just back and forth to the school here.
Uh-oh, somebody forget something?
What's that?
Somebody forget
Yeah,
something?
well, actually, yes, they forgot something, and then here in a minute I have donuts with Dad with my 5-year-old, so I'm pretty fired up about that.
Love that.
All right. Who forgot something? Was it the young one? Is it Cam? What's going on? Who's running laps today? Dougie?
Hey, I have a bad connection, Jordan. I didn't hear anything you just said, buddy.
What kid forgot something at the house? Whose ass are you going to have this afternoon?
I don't know if I want to mail him in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like the older one.
A lot of people listen to your show. I don't want either one of them.
Right.
Don't throw your kid under the bus.
I got it. I get it.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of listeners. I don't want them catching any heat, you know.
Dougie, Tigers roll again last night, and
yes.
There's only so many. Like I said, there's only so much you can say about this team, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's a lot. I mean, you know, these guys in the past 11 games have outscored their opponents 142-10. I mean, they're playing Nintendo out there. I mean, it's incredible. It's reminiscent. You know, you hear this whole thing from the naysayers, the pessimists out there. They haven't played anybody. Well, the first thing is nobody's really played anybody. That's just kind of the nature of how baseball works. Same thing in basketball. You walk through the first couple weeks, make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. But the thing is, for me, is that they're beating these teams the way that the number one ranked team should beat these teams. Again, reminiscent of the offenses that I was blessed to pitch behind, where it was just completely overwhelming from 1 to 9. And not only 1 to 9, you know, there's 10, 11, 12, 13 in there that can hurt you, that can hit a ball out of the ballpark and an 0-2 count to right center field. And, you know, then pitching, you know, I was kind of just in my own math last night. I really think that this is the deepest we've ever been. I think LSU's got 12, 13 caliber offensive players. And I think that there's 9 to 10 arms that are SEC arms, meaning they can get outs right now in the league. I mean, it's just kind of what I'm seeing through this first, whatever it is, 15, 16 games.
How do you think he handles the weekend here with conference on the horizon? As we saw Chase Shores last night, what do you think he does? You mentioned the depth. He's got options.
Yeah, I think Chase Shores. Well, I have no clue.
Sure.
This is just total speculation. But personally, I think that you're going to see Chase Shores out of the back end of that bullpen. You know, that 100-mile-an-hour fastball plays in the closing or setup situation. The only question mark about Chase Shores for me is his command. 100 miles an hour when you throw it like Paul Skeens is just about unhittable, meaning when it's 0-2 or 1-2, Paul Skeens misses an inch and a half off the plate because he wants to. Chase Shores just isn't quite there yet. I mean, there's a big age gap there for one, but when his command sharpens up like that, he might be the next first overall pick in a couple years. But I think you'll see Shores fall, somewhere in that role. I can't be positive. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of starters, Ty Floyd has one of the lowest batting averages against in the SEC and the country. He has been, as stellar as one can be. And then I think that Sunday role, Thatcher Hurd has really earned his keep there. But look, these days with all the analytics and everything, there's so many decisions that are made based on matchups and opponents and all that good stuff. And again, that is my humble guess at what that weekend rotation would look like. And I think Christian Little's going to be in the mix too. I don't know if it's as a starter or not, but that young man can get the job done. I mean, when he went into last night's game, he had 15 strikeouts and 1 walk in 11 innings, which is, spectacular.
Josh Pearson was in the pinch hitting role last night.
Yeah.
What have you made of the second year player? A lot of expectation for him going into his sophomore season after a really good rookie year.
I don't envy Josh Pearson, Braden Joubert, or anyone else without the name Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, and maybe perhaps another guy or two, because it's so deep. Like if you're not producing today or this weekend, it's next man up. I mean, like there's plenty of dudes in that dugout again that can get it done. So for me, you know, I think that with Tommy White now back in at third base, you know, man, this is going to be one of the deepest lineups that we've ever had. In fact, I mean, it could very well end up being, you know, the best lineup in the school's history. I mean, it's really that incredibly deep. You got a kid like Jared Jones batting eighth. It's just a lot of trouble for you know, the opposing pitching staff.
This is you start talking around best ever, man. I mean, this is LSU baseball we're talking about here. This is not like Rice football we're discussing.
I know.
Doug, last one for you. I get you out of here. Obviously, we know how good of a coach and a recruiter Nolan Cain is. He deserves a lot of what LSU is experiencing right now come from his hard work. What do you know about Texas A&M? What's LSU traveling over to face?
Well, let me go back real quick. If I did say best ever, perhaps it was a slip. I will say this, though. I really do think it's going to be the deepest ever. Do they get it done? Do they get the big hits when it matters like Warren Morris did? That's to be determined. So believe me, I'm walking on eggshells when I talk about the best ever anything, player, pitcher, in the history of the program, because I understand the reverence that comes along with that. But deep, Jordy, deep 12, 13 hitters that could probably start in any lineup in the SEC. I don't know that we've seen that. As far as A&M's concerned, they're going to be tough. I know that Jay Johnson has said to others that he thinks they're going to be one of their stingiest, if not their toughest opponent of the year. So it's going to start in College Station. The place is Weirdoville. There's a lot of distractions. You got to get through the bubbles and the trains and just the weirdness of the whole deal. And look, I kind of joke about that, but I'll tell you what's not a joke is Jim Schlesnagel and Nolan Cain and the job that they've done at Texas A&M. I mean, think about those dudes. Last year, they pick up a program that was basically in shambles. Like it wasn't LSU basketball after Will Wade in shambles, but it was pretty dang close. Meaning, you know, 8, 9 kids on the team. These two guys come in town and run to Omaha last year. I mean, you're talking about some real professionals. Jim Schlesnagel, I've got nothing but respect for the guy. One of the winningest coaches, one of the winningest active coaches right now. You know, I think he's top 4, I think, actually. But anyway, it's going to be a battle. And my favorite part about it is the old cliche, boy, we're going to know a lot more about, are we for real? Are we just a really damn good team that's going to compete and have a good chance to go to Omaha? If you go to Texas A&M and you bring the brooms out, oof.
Yeah.
Man, Jordy, this is good stuff.
No doubt about it, Dougie. Dougie, real quick, 2 weeks out, can you imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like Thursday night when Tennessee's in town?
It's going to be electric. Well, I think Arkansas is first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, next, not, you know, of course this weekend, but the one after. But when Tennessee comes to town, you know, I'm excited when Arkansas comes to town. I think I heard Chris say last night that it's standing room only for the Arkansas series. But this is what LSU baseball is all about. Like this energy, this electricity, this enthusiasm that everyone, everywhere I go has right now. I mean, like literally everyone I see right now says something along the lines of, how about them Tigers? What do you think about them Tigers? We ever seen a team like this? They ask about Paul Skeens, or they ask about it's really exciting. It's where the program deserves to be. And hats off to Jay Johnson for getting this program back to this level of excitement and enthusiasm in such a short amount of time.
At DT9 Tigers on Twitter. You can hear him a part of the LSU Sports Radio Network. He's a great friend of the show every week here. We're breaking down LSU baseball with him. A former great. Now you can hear him on the call. Doug Thompson. Thank you, buddy. Have a good day.
Hey, y'all have a good one. Thank you.
There's Doug checking in this morning, talking a little LSU baseball. As the Tigers, it's here, man.
I feel like we could play a drinking game for how many times
Doug's FaceTiming us right now.
He's booty dialing us.
You up?
Hit him. See if we can get a visual on Dougie. Oh, okay.
He doesn't even know.
He does not
I
know.
don't think he knows.
He does not know.
He doesn't know.
Look at him.
He's trying to hurry up and
That's
hang up.
amazing.
We can catch him doing some things.
Picking his nose.
What a nightmare.
Oh my God.
What a nightmare.
Don't worry about throwing your kid under the bus. We just got you.
Right.
Doing
Got
way
him.
worse.
Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant. Our friend down at Katie's Restaurant, Scott Craig and the crew. Go see him down at Katie's. You can stop in and see him. Great menu down at Katie's, a neighborhood restaurant for the entire city that you can find on Iberville Street, tucked in a great neighborhood down in New Orleans. You got a feel of the city, vibes of the city, taste of the city. Always got cold beer. Got the pizza selections for you down there, as well as the New Orleans specials. Check out their sister restaurant as well, Francesca by Katie's, which is located down in Lakeview. But always online, you can find out all the information. katiesinmidcity.com, katiesinmidcity.com. When we come back, second hour, we'll start it off. We will set up Jacques. Jacques will be here at 8:15. And then we'll take your phone calls, or we can do that to start off the 8 o'clock hour.
Why not?
If you got questions, comments, if you want to jump inside of the chat and get your questions in, when we come back, we'll start to answer those before Jacques shows up at 8:15 this morning. Remember the Jordy Culotta Show, Metropolitan Health Group. Hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we'll be back. Second hour coming your way.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, katie@jordyculotta.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Please don't. We're not talking about that.
Live.
A lot of PCs going around.
Live here on this Wednesday. We're going to talk to Jacques here coming up in a minute. If you have a take, don't suck. Get inside of the chat. Like Quan Pickett, my man, says, hashtag mailbag. How big of a miss it was for not LSU to get Reese Beekman from Scotlandville. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. I agree. I've always loved Beekman. Beekman was a beast. I want to say that he was the Freshman of the Year in the ACC.
At Virginia, right?
Yeah, it was Virginia.
Somebody asked me
he was
about
on the
him
Natty
other
team.
day. Natty team for Virginia? Oh.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me about that the other day. They were like, somebody is from Scotlandville is on Virginia. And I was like, I don't know who he is because I don't really follow college basketball like that. But.
And then there's some rumors that are floating around Jordan Wright, who is a Vanderbilt basketball player, who's a Dunham graduate. He graduated with Derek Stingley, actually, in Stingley's class from Dunham. Is he in the transfer portal or talked of maybe entering the transfer portal, so they may have an opportunity for him to possibly come home? He's a hell of a player, man. He was a great player at Dunham. He's been a really solid player at Vanderbilt in the SEC. He's a really good defender. That would be a heck of a pickup if LSU was able to add Jordan Wright to the roster. If he's not in the transfer portal, there's rumors to the fact that he may be entering.
I think I heard that too
somewhere.
I read that somewhere.
The transfer portal.
I'm on his Twitter right now. I don't see anything like transfer. He hasn't posted a picture since
would be a hell of a
November
get.
26th. Yes.
Yeah.
Would be perfect.
Just a rumor.
Rumors can be real sometimes.
You don't even know that song, do you, Stuart?
No, Katie, I'm young.
You're a baby.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is he's too much.
God.
He's too much.
It's gonna end today. He's going on McAfee at 1 Eastern.
Is it really gonna end
It
today?
has to, because it's all there. It's all spelled out for us.
He
Just hasn't said it from his own dumb mouth.
He can prolong this as long as he wants. He's
has.
Aaron Rodgers.
He has, Dewey.
If he does it further than today, it almost becomes a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
it almost becomes irrelevant.
I mean, it's like, dude. I mean, like nobody cares anymore.
You want more attention, Aaron?
I mean,
cool.
like,
all right.
Today's the day.
So he
He's
goes on
emerging from the
McAfee today,
darkness.
as you've said.
Yeah.
And you got to imagine that he's going to announce what he's going to do here. If you're reading like kind of between the lines of what Green Bay is saying, they're done with him.
Oh yeah, they're done with him.
They're like,
you can't come back.
Like they're like totally. I mean, like they've moved on. They've moved on. I mean, he is. If he doesn't go to New York, it's almost like
you got to retire,
buddy. You don't. You ain't got a place to go.
You think they cleaned out his locker?
Though, like,
sounds like it.
How does he even are he and Odell like new friends?
I don't know.
Like,
Maybe he just likes Odell.
Obviously, I've never heard them linked before for anything.
But
like,
Jerry Jones isn't letting that happen.
You don't think?
No, Jerry Jones is like in love with Odell. He has to have that star on his
Clearly, Aaron Rodgers has some pull.
I think Odell misses New York though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
But the Jets, like I don't know. Like Aaron Rodgers is almost done.
He is.
They realistically only have 2 years with
he?
Rodgers.
Why?
Because he's.
Why can't he be like Tom Brady?
Because he's not on that sauce, man. He's on mushrooms.
He's on that. What's it called? Ayahuasca.
And mushrooms.
And darkness retreats.
And
but I mean, Tom Brady's probably on mushrooms too.
He's
like microdosing type mushrooms, not like
I'll
like
buy
the
it.
mushrooms
I'll
that
buy
everybody's
that.
on.
I'll buy Brady as a microdoser, but I do
Yeah.
not have Brady as a putting the poison into the body that Rodgers is.
Yeah, but is it poison? These are all natural drugs.
Yeah, but Brady's microdosing like I mean his is like menthol.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brady isn't taking Percocets before games. I can tell you
he's
that.
Not.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Rodgers was.
Yeah, he admitted it on McAfee. I want to say, it took.
Now
Percocets
Brady is taking something.
Yeah,
he's
much
taking
stronger
something.
than Percocet.
Brady made a deal with the devil.
Yeah,
something like that,
or
right?
the NFL.
Well, there you go. Ooh, that was good, Jordy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm on the part of Entourage when Ari's trying to sign the NFL. trying to do the
tough
TV
fall
contract.
for Ari here.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fall?
No, you can tell
it's a tough
getting,
one.
it's scary.
Stewie is deep into the Entourage game for the first time. What a take back you have taken me to.
I'm in deep.
I know, it makes me want to start it again. I think it would be like my 4th time to watch it.
It couldn't play in today's America.
No. Ari would be like done. Like
Ari
they would have canceled him.
Ari would be
No,
canceled. He'd be canceled very quick. But that's what made the show great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where comedy has gone. You know,
Yeah.
Get a call from LA right now.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
They up early out in LA.
Who is it?
It's Coach O's girlfriend.
Oh my God, please
6
let it be.
a.m. Which one?
Have we offended anyone out there?
Right. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What up, nerds? George the Greek. How's it going this morning?
Yo, what's up, George?
Haven't heard from you in a while.
What's up, Jordy? What's up, Katie?
Hey.
What's up, guys? Hey, quick question.
Yep.
If Matt McMahon continues to suck here for the next couple of years, what are the chances that we get Will Wade back over here at LSU? I will hang up and listen. Later, fellas.
Thank you,
Bye.
George. Good to hear from you.
That's my biggest dream. It's gonna happen. I'm manifesting it.
I don't think it's impossible. I think it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible, but
It's a tough situation.
There's a lot of stuff that people would have to walk back. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that people would have to get over.
What do you mean? I mean, they're over it.
Yeah, look there's ego involved here, man.
Yeah.
On both sides. I think, and I know that Wade would listen, and I know that Wade loves and is passionate about LSU. But you know, I mean, it's very unfair to Matt McMahon. It's very unfair to the people that are on campus. To have that discussion, but you know, I mean, if it's trending in the way that it is, there's going to be some possibilities for it being replaced down the line, and you know, you would think that Wade has a great opportunity here to make his name known yet, again in college basketball. And that, McNeese, I think both sides know. McNeese knows, and Wade obviously knows that, he wants to get back to the SEC. Like we said, you looked at that roster list of coaches in the conference, and you're adding Texas and you're adding Oklahoma, which really, respect and pay attention to their programs. People want to be there. It's where the most money is. It's where the best players is. It's where the best facilities are. Obviously that's where it is. So, if you have a take, you can jump inside of the chat. You can text into the show. You can call into the show, 225-229-7741. 225-229-7741 is the phone number. What's that?
Rove Camara.
Rove Camara.
Hayden Ferris said George just served up this show's wet dream. He did. George did.
Very unlikely, though.
Aw, come on.
Very unlikely.
Come on.
Very unlikely.
I'm pulling for it. I'm manifesting it hard in my gut.
Wow.
Is that weird?
Oh God,
that's deep.
I don't know.
That's Doug Thompson deep.
Damn.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like that came out like.
Yeah.
It came out kind of wrong.
Yeah, that's not. You might want to
crawfish it.
Yeah, you might want to do a little
I
cleanup.
really want Will Wade to come back to LSU.
You want to do a little cleanup.
There.
Dig deep into the stomach.
But so many people are so sure that he's not coming back. We don't know that.
Because
no
it's
one knows that.
Very, very, very unlikely.
I just feel like he's here. He's close now, right? He's back in the state.
So would you let Les Miles come back? Would you be cool if
No,
Les Miles
that's
came back?
different. I don't want Les Miles to come back.
Gross.
Nobody wants
Oh my
Les Miles to
God.
come back, but I think a lot of people want Will Wade to come back. Darren said Katie's little mushrooms.
Where is
I'm
Les
not.
Miles these days?
Well, he was in. Where did he go after Kansas? Where did he after the state of Kansas? Like
They've
where did
kind
they
of
move?
ducked him off.
But do they still live there?
You've never heard from him.
Haven't heard back from him.
He made one comment on Twitter about Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
People were like, "Holy shit,
Oh, Les
there's
is still
Les.
alive. Look at him.
Les is still out there kicking somewhere."
Where is he? Someone has to know where he is. Oh, yeah, Hunter?
I think he's probably in Florida. I think
Why?
last I heard he was
okay.
in Florida.
Oh, yeah, he's probably somewhere ducked off in Florida.
Just kind of hiding out, dude.
He's sunburned as hell down there.
No doubt. Hat.
Chewing grass.
Weirdo, dude.
Who's that blonde
Freaking
right
people
there?
out. Yeah. Hey, man, what's your name?
We got Hunter Hall on the line.
Hey, Hunter.
Good morning, Hunter. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I coming off a weekend in Nashville and skipping Birmingham this weekend to come clown around in Baton Rouge with you guys.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Okay, what brings you down here to the lovely city of Baton Rouge?
What is it? Be green, wear green.
Wearing the green.
There you go.
My
There you
bad.
go.
Sorry, I forgot.
That's always a good time down there. So I think there's some crawfish down there with my name on it, so can't wait.
Nate and the Felons played well over the weekend.
Boy, they did. That was a fun weekend up there in Nashville. Brandon went off, had a few surprises from Noah Gurley, and the whole team getting hot at the right time.
How are we feeling about spring football over there in T-Town?
Well, before we get on football, defensive assistant Charlie Henry, his top defensive guy on the basketball team. He took a job yesterday at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how that little Sun Belt
everywhere.
works. See how that goes the next 6 games. But I think he's going to stick around to get 6 more wins. So that'll be all right. I was hoping to talk to Lloyd today, but one day a week.
Back suspended. He's suspended again, Hunter.
Not. You're going to freak everybody out.
That sound like his general Will Wade.
That's right.
You come back and you get 5 days.
He's back. He's suspended for 5 more shows. So.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, did I hear yesterday that the Will Wade podcast is going to continue, even though
you did? You did.
Hey, love that.
You did.
Love that. I thought his Bucky response a couple of weeks ago was pretty great.
Yes.
So, hey, I appreciated his honesty, saying that he's pretty much he would do exactly what Nate did regarding Brandon Miller, and I appreciated that.
Yeah,
so.
I thought his answer there was pretty telling.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, good deal, guys. Hopefully we'll have a good weekend down there in Baton Rouge this weekend.
All right, man.
Thanks,
be safe.
Hunter.
All right. We'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Remember, if you got a call, get in 225-229-7741. We'll take a break from the calls here. Jacques is in studio, and we will talk to JD from WAFB when we get back next here. The Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered, as always, by our friends down at Go Chevrolet. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, every week here, every Wednesday, we link up with Jacques Doucet from WAFB, one of our favorites, one of our friends from our partners over at WAFB. Of course, you can catch him on sports, WAFB Sports. You can get that on the app. Download the app. You can check out the Jordy Culotta Show there as well. Tigers heading over to College Station this weekend. LSU women's basketball get the 3 seed. They open up conference or NCAA play here in Baton Rouge. And LSU baseball, as we said, traveling over to Texas A&M. We'll start there. Jacques is here this morning. Jacques, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. As Travis Tritt sings, great day to be alive.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful day in Baton Rouge today. Sunny. I thought I was done with the long sleeves for the year, but we got a little snap.
A little chill. A little chill. I say they're expecting some cold weather for St. Patrick's Day as well.
I saw that. It was chilly last night at the box, and the wind was kind of gusting in a little bit, but that didn't stop Tommy White and Gavin Dugas from poking them over the fence. So,
JD, what's going on right now with Red Rock and Blue before we get into some sports?
We're still rounding up sponsors. If you're out there and you want to put your company's name on Red Rock and Blue, you got till May the 1st. So I'm easy to find out there. Go to redrockandblue.com. All my contact information is there. Vertical Horizon, multi-platinum artist, will be headlining a big show at the Varsity on August the 19th. Tickets are on sale for that. We've got a big catery reunion show that my friend Ben Cassio put together on July the 8th, and then we're going to have a country show on July 22nd, I believe it is, at the Varsity with Chase Tyler and some other guys. So we have 3 concerts during the summer that'll benefit Red Rock and Blue. Our softball tournament will be July 28th through the 30th at Oak Villa, and we're about to start registration for that. So that's where we are with Red Rock and Blue at the moment. And we give all our money to local Louisiana military charities like Blue Star Moms of Louisiana, Wounded War Heroes, not the Wounded Warrior Project. That's something different. And it's a great thing we do, and we enjoy it, and we have fun during the summer, so be a part.
There's a lot to get to with Jacques, and let's start with spring football, JD. We've heard from Brian Kelly now a couple of times, and most recently since his team has practiced. What did you make of some of Kelly's comments and some of the things that you may have seen on opening day of spring?
Well, I think the number one thing we walked away from his press conference was that John Emery's in limbo again, and he's got to take care of his academics or he's not going to be part of this team moving forward. I thought that this year is a lot less crisis management and a lot less trying to teach them how to practice. Kelly even joked about last year, hey, you don't take your helmet off during practice. You don't throw your helmet during practice. Get control of your emotions. You don't take a knee during practice. And so I think, he was inheriting a whole different situation last year. Now he's building on what they did in year one, winning the SEC West and winning a bowl game convincingly and winning 10 games, and now trying to take the next step. The scenario around this team will be completely different than a year ago in which they were picked to win 6 games. Now a lot of picks have them in the top 10 nationally. winning the SEC West, so now they're the hunted and not the hunter. But that shouldn't change the way they approach things. And certainly, I was thinking about it too, Jordy, a year ago. I mean, Jaden Daniels transferred in. We kind of knew a little bit about him, that he was the quarterback at Arizona State, but he was definitely not the starter when he came in at spring. Miles Brennan actually was the veteran presence a year ago, and a guy a lot of people thought could have started, but obviously he was nowhere near starting. And so now this is kind of Jaden Daniels' team now to an extent, in terms of he's the returning starter. How much ownership does he take in the team leadership? And then obviously Garrett Nussmeier's right there behind him, eager to play as well. So, a year ago we were going out there as TV people trying to get shots of everybody because we didn't have shots of anybody because the staff was completely new. A lot of the players were completely new, and a lot of players are new again, but the staff is pretty much the same except for the special teams coordinator. And Coach Polian was out there prominently on day one talking to Coach Kelly, is now the new GM of the team, so to speak. So we were only out there for 20 minutes, and then that's the only practice we saw. They're on spring break, and then we go out there, I think, on Tuesday.
Yeah. You mentioned the quarterbacks, obviously, and Daniels and Nussmeier and how they're divvying up the reps. You anticipate them to keep all these guys next year? I mean, you don't anticipate anybody leaving here this year, right?
Well, it's funny. Sometimes on my Facebook comments, I read stuff like, they ran off Walker Howard. It's like I'm sure they begged Walker Howard to stay. Right. There's no running off of Walker Howard. So I would hope now that they've kind of got it narrowed down to, I say two. I mean, Ricky Collins is out there. That's a new visual that he's already practicing with the team after playing playing high school football in the fall. And so, I would think they would do everything in their power to keep those two guys, Nuss and Jaden. Jaden's not going anywhere. So I guess keep Nuss on the roster. Yeah. And I watched a one-on-one Garland Gillen did with Brian Kelly, and he talked about, hey, it doesn't matter how we word it, open competition, not open competition, whatever. We need to do a better job of getting, Nuss some snaps with the first teamers, which I'm sure they'll do. And he also talked about Jaden, that Jaden still needs to do a better job of getting the ball down the field to the wide receivers and pushing the ball down the field. So, but he also said Jaden made great strides from the beginning of the year to the end in terms of him playing the quarterback position. So, and I've told you before, I think it's funny that a lot of times for years and years we talked about LSU needs a dual threat quarterback to beat Alabama, and Burrow finally brought that element. And then last year, Jaden obviously brought that element in that drive late in the game, in which he ran for like 35 yards on a 3rd and 10 or something, and then the first play of overtime he runs in the end zone. So Jaden Daniels brings the run aspect to it, but obviously needs to push the ball a little bit more here and there.
LSU basketball season comes to an end in Nashville.
It did,
and then a day later, Will Wade gets hired down at McNeese. What have you made of the basketball news the last week?
Yeah, excited to see Will Wade back in college basketball. I think Lake Charles is an interesting place. You're close to Houston, where I'm sure he could recruit a lot of talent. You got the casinos there that have been kind of blossoming, and you've got some money in Lake Charles. I think it's maybe television market 170, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lafayette's around 120, and Baton Rouge is around 90. And so I think they've got a brand new arena, right? And I'm sure he'll get players. And I think I heard him say they haven't had I think I was listening to your interview with him. He said they hadn't had a winning season at McNeese since 2010, 2011. Yeah. That kind of shocked me.
Me too.
That they hadn't finished over 500 in that long.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. I mean, not to stack up your non-conference with cupcakes of some kind that you can finish over 500.
Let's just get to the number.
So, I mean, Joe Dumars, that's going back to what, the early 80s?
Yeah, even maybe late
70s.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward. Or is McNeese going to play the Cajuns in an arena, not a gym? Okay,
right. I know that's the first thing I thought of was him and Bob Marlin.
I think that NIT game was it 6 years ago or something? Mm-hmm. I always tell the interns, I'm like, that was a case where I left that press conference and I had this gold-minded stuff, and I had about 30 minutes to get that thing edited and on the news that night. And this is an example of being on the deadline, and I got to turn this thing because I think some people around the country watched that. They called it press conference porn when they saw it. Like all the national college bet, they're like, man, the NIT typically is boring and dull.
Right.
Like these two guys just teed off in this press conference. And we still talk about it, You been under a rock?
Yeah.
The whole Will Wade postgame. And so many fans told me, they said, I loved Will Wade to begin with, but when he went off on the Cajuns in that press conference, he endeared me for life.
It was you could feel it being in that room watching it, like this is going to be something that people talk about forever, for a long time.
And a great guy named Jared Joseph, who interned at Channel 9 and then worked at WVLA, when Will Wade said, "You been under a rock," at that exact moment, Jared tripped in the back, like he tripped over a tripod or something. You hear like this, like in the back of the room, right when Will Wade said, "You been under a rock," so it was like one of these,
perfect time
comedy
moments.
timed up, things. But that was one of those press conferences I'll never forget for sure. But anyway, I don't know what Coach McMahon's going to do with the roster. I think a lot of people are waiting, and a year from now, it's got to improve, right? It's got to get better. I think that Coach McMahon gets at least 3 years, right, to coach and figure it out. But and still, we're waiting on the NCAA to decide what the heck's going on. Can we please close the book on this, please?
Have you seen? like they've ruled on this Miami case. The Miami girls basketball team. They have had some recruiting violations.
The twins.
The Cavender twins is what their names is. And I believe Mike Ruiz is like a huge Miami booster, and he had them in town and brought them out to eat, and they tweeted a picture out, and it was illegal, and they had the evidence, and they were able to turn it around, and they've made the ruling, and they know what's going on. I'm telling you, the NCAA wants to react. They want to be out there. They want to show that they can do this. So if they have the information and have the evidence and have all of the stuff that they need to decide, that they would say something. The longer this goes on, the more this gets extended out, the more evident it clearly is that they don't have anything to say. If they had something to say, they would want to scream off of a podium, this is what we've got, this is when he did it, this is how we've known Will Wade and LSU basketball was the devil that we've been telling you that they have been for the last 5 years.
You would agree that McNeese would not have hired him if they didn't have a good grip on what was going to happen.
No way.
So they've already suspended him for 5 games. They're going to eat their you-know-what sandwich and then move on from it.
I would even go as far as to say that LSU would self-sanction penalties if they had an idea that things were coming. They haven't taken any scholarships away.
Right.
They did not ban themselves from any postseason play. You can insert the jokes wherever you would like, but they're still playing under. They're not regulated.
Right.
They're playing under the same rules that everybody else is. So, even the LSU administration is saying out loud, like, hey, they're not going to do anything, because if they were, we would get out in front of it and we would sanction ourselves. We would take away a couple of scholarships to say, kind of like McNeese is doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like McNeese is like being proactive and saying, look, if you do come forward and say that he's penalized, well, we've already sat him 5 games. We kept him off the road the entire summer. He didn't recruit until after July 31st. We have taken steps to say, and if they still come down and hit the hammer, if you're McNeese, you're saying, well, hell, we still won. We sold tickets.
Right.
We got really good recognition. We finally finished over 500. I'm sure there's going to be things that you can still celebrate even if things are out there. But I'm telling you, if something was out there, they would love to tell you about it, because they don't like the fact that we're out here making fun of them. That everybody out there is making fun of them. Like, what could it be? Well, there's nothing to say because there's nothing there.
Well, it's gone on long enough. We just sat through the season from hell. Can you please step to the plate? It's been 4 years since Will Wade was suspended by Joe Oliva and company for 40 days or whatever it was.
Wow.
We were at LeBerge that day and the news hit. And so other schools are going to negatively recruit against LSU, right? They're going to say stuff like, well, even if they're going to say, well, you want to go to a place where they're not even sure you can go to the NCAA tournament and what. Right. So it seems like in the press box yesterday, I was talking to Brian Lazar about this, and it was like he kind of said he thinks that they're going to lose a scholarship or two, and that's going to be it. They're not going to have any post-game sanctions or whatever, or postseason sanctions, excuse me. So let's, get off your butt and do it. Announce it. So, I mean, Matt McMahon, to be fair to him, he needs this out of the way. He had nothing to do with any of that stuff. So when is his true starting line and move forward? So.
I agree, 100%. Jacques Doucet joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Jacques Doucet. All right, LSU baseball hits the road to go visit Texas A&M this weekend, and this will be a real test here, it feels like, for this number one team. Doug Thompson was just here. We've talked to a couple of people about this squad. There's only so much you can say of how good they've been, right? I mean, I think Doug had a stat where they've outscored their opponent like 142-10.
I've never seen an LSU baseball team dismantle a non-conference schedule like this one has. Now, has the non-conference schedule been a bit soft? Yes. They didn't play a 3-game series against Long Beach State or whatever. But they run rule like 6 of the last 7 entering last night, and if last night would have had a run rule, they would have run ruled UNO as well. And then there were some other games in which they beat Sam Houston State 16-4 when there was no run rule and whatnot. Texas A&M last year was last year, but last year Texas A&M came to the box, won 2 out of 3, and went to the College World Series. If you want to be objective, maybe you can say, okay, who are the best 2 teams LSU has played so far? Iowa and Texas. LSU had the worst game of the season against Iowa. They got beat badly. And then against Texas on the road, it was a 0-0 game going to the 9th before Gavin Dugas hit the 3-run homer. So is LSU going to go to College Station and score 16 runs on Friday? Probably not. Could they? Maybe. I don't know. But if you go in there and you get 2 out of 3, that's the goal. And if you're an LSU season ticket holder, you talk about, getting the Rolling Stones and the Who right out of the bat, coming to town. You got Arkansas for a 3-game series coming in, and then you got Tennessee coming to town. And I think the Tennessee series coming up is the most highly anticipated series LSU's played in a long, long time. I think they're going to break attendance records with that one.
It'll be the best atmosphere the new box has seen. I say new box, but I mean like this version of the box has seen. I mean, Oklahoma, Jonathan Gray versus Aaron Nola type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Now the one thing I keep forgetting and keep being reminded of is it starts on a Thursday. So it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, but still. I think that Coach Johnson, for what I've heard, he wants to break some attendance records with that. And the whole Tony Vitello, as polarizing as he is and the way his team plays the game and as polarizing as they are, you're gonna have a football element during that series, I'm sure. But not to look too far ahead. But those are the kind of things right off the bat that you get into the SEC play with. And Tommy White has hit 6 home runs in his last 8 games or something like that. He struggled with that shoulder injury. It was the Nick Saban sky is falling catastrophe syndrome when he got hurt in that first game. Oh no, this is another Mason Smith, hurt his knee on the first drive. He's out for the year. And he struggled to get his timing back in Round Rock and whatnot. Now the onslaught's underway. Jared Jones needs to cut down his strikeouts, but, I mean, that guy, the way he hits the baseball, and then you forget about Gavin Dugas, and then he puts one in the stands last night. And the pitching, Paul Skeens, my goodness, striking out 2 batters every inning he pitches. He's striking out 2 out of 3 guys, basically, every time he gets up there. And then Thatcher Hurd has worked out his problems. I mean, Jay's managing a juggernaut, and are they going to lose some games in the SEC? Yeah. I mean, what's the best SEC record you can hope for? 23-7? I mean, can they go 25-5? I don't know. But, postseason, it's all about winning 3 games in a regional, 2 games in a super. Is anybody going to stop this team in the postseason? We'll find out. Yeah. Long season ahead, but right now you think no.
Right. No, they're so good. Yeah. I mean, they're incredible.
Wes Johnson in the shutout. You score 16 runs last night. You don't think about the pitching end of things. But I think they've shut out 6 or 7 opponents so far. And Garrett Edwards, he's another great story. Guy from Pitkin, Louisiana, the way he's pitching. So Christian Little out of the pen. They're stacked.
It's incredible to watch. All right, last one. Derek Carr officially introduced as a New Orleans Saint.
It's kind of the first shot of adrenaline and excitement I've gotten with the Saints in a while. I watched the press conference, most of it. I was very, he comes across as a great guy, great husband, great dad, Christian. He said I won't be throwing Bibles at people, but he's great in the community as well. And this is the the first time they've really signed a big-time, quarterback prospect since they signed Drew back in 2006. So, he's your fearless leader now. You're losing a lot of other guys off the Saints roster that are going to the Falcons and the Panthers, looks like. But give me 3 wide receivers, Jordy. Give me 3 guys who are going to show up for work every day. Yeah. Michael Thomas, are you ready? Can we go? I mean, are you healthy? And then, Olave is a great young talent. And, a lot of speculation about Kamara. Has the ship sailed? I mean, is it time to move on from him? That's been something that's been discussed. I don't know. Who's your running back? Who are you going to hand the ball to? So, yeah, I mean, I was impressed with it. Looking forward to, getting out there in April and whatever it is when they do the OTAs and seeing him wearing the Saints jersey. Exciting time, Jordy. And then, Kim and the girls hosting the NCAA tournament this weekend. We'll see how that goes. So, Haley Bryant gets 3 perfect 10s in a meet on Friday. That was pretty amazing. So, a lot of exciting things. I didn't even mention Dylan Cruz. Look up at the scoreboard. He's batting .519. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Isn't that nuts? I mean, really, if you're, and I think Doug said it best, anybody outside of Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, Tommy Tanks right now, your job's up every day. You know what I mean? Like, you could, next man up. I mean, like Josh Pearson last night. I mean, you almost kind of forgot about him. I mean, he steps in last night. And
we'll talk about good problems to have. Jay hates the run rule, right? And when you run rule somebody at home, you're losing 2.5 innings of baseball to get some other guys some at-bats, to get some other guys on the mound. And so those 2.5 innings times 6 or whatever, if you lose 15, 16, 17, 20 innings of baseball, wow. Because you're beating the pants off the other guy. Right. And the run rule is decided by the visitor. Jay is never going to say, yeah, I want a run rule tonight. So Blake Dean, God bless him, last night, I guess said, I don't want one. Maybe Jay told him as a former Tiger, hey, don't do it. But yeah, there's just a lot of amazing things. What would you say is more unlikely to happen? Trey Morgan hitting for the cycle in order, or Haley Bryant getting 3 perfect 10s in a meet? I was thinking about that. Both cases in which you say, hey, if I try to do this today, there's no way I can do this if I think about doing this. But
right.
So
both impossible when you just kind of say out loud of, I'm going to accomplish this. And both of them have done it within the first month of competition, right? Jacques, it's good to see you. When you're back on the desk?
Tomorrow, or
nice.
I'm doing something tomorrow. I'll be at tomorrow. All 4 teams in the women's NCAA tournament here in Baton Rouge will practice and do press conferences. So we'll have that tomorrow for you.
JD, live tomorrow on the desk. You can follow him on Twitter at Jacques Doucet and listen to him every Wednesday right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll be back. We'll close it out next year when we come back here on the show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team. Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey,
Greg Brooks. Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
JD. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Closing it out here on this Wednesday. Appreciate your interaction. Thanks for getting involved with us. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. here on this Wednesday. Make sure and tune in to Mic'd Up coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll have Nick Diaz and Out of My League coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So a lot of LSU baseball breakdown and getting ready for the conference games and opening slate this weekend as Tigers LSU will travel over to College Station to take on Texas A&M.
Thursday or no?
This is a Friday.
When does it start? Friday.
series.
Okay.
Thanks to Doug Thompson. Thanks for JD for coming through. Lloyd's suspended. We'll see if we can get him back here tomorrow.
It's 5 more games for Lloyd.
We'll see. I thought his performance on his day back was a little underwhelming. The social media post was a little dramatic by Noah.
Getting the John Morant treatment.
Yeah,
Send him to rehab.
Yeah, right. Get him out
Counseling, y'all. Counseling.
It's rehab.
Enjoy the day. Hit the like button, share button, comment button. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.